All right, everybody, this is Nash here. I hope you all are having a great day. Texas versus Baylor is tomorrow, and it's time to do the preview. Now, the game is going to be 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 for you Eastern Time, folks. All the information is going to be right here. Going to be leaving up on the screen for the entire video. But game is in Waco, Texas. Should not have any weather. I think it should be a fairly clear day. The line is at 14.5 points for Texas, so Texas is favored by more than 2 touchdowns. And the over-under is at 49. So they're predicting some points, but not. It's not going to be like a high flying, like the typical old school Big 12 games. But there's going to be some points. So if you like the video, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below your thoughts on the Baylor game. We're about to go right on into the advanced stats, and you heard me last week. Told you, hey, can't look at advanced stats yet. We don't have. It's only been 2 weeks. Well, we got our 3rd week now, and it's time to look at some advanced stats because I think you can actually start to take away some things from this. So, without further ado, let's just hop right on into them. So, here we have the stats, and what you're going to see, there's a common thing with all these, with what's going on here in the Baylor game, and it's that things match up well for Texas, but probably not for Baylor. And what I mean by that is usually when you look at a good matchup, okay, you have some very similar things, like yards per rush, opponent yards per rush are the same. But when you're not doing well, and I mean, it's good, not great. And I'd honestly bored to, it's not even good. It's just average. But you've heard me talk about 4 yards per carry is when you start to lean towards good. So you're leaning towards good right here. But at the end of the day, it could be better, and I think it's going to be better versus Baylor because when you have this, it doesn't match up well. Another thing that doesn't match up well, and that doesn't match up well for Baylor, is 0.425 yards opponent points per play. Texas is 0.498 opponent points per play on offense. Yards per play, we're getting 6 yards per play. Baylor's letting up 5.6 yards per play. It's not a great matchup, and I'll show you a good comparison for this. But so here we have the Ohio State Notre Dame game, and this actually kicks off at the same time as Texas versus Baylor. So if Texas versus Baylor gets boring, you will have something to fall back on. But the numbers aren't the same. Ohio State, they're averaging 218.5 yards for the opponent. Notre Dame's averaging 492. Those are not near the same numbers, but at the same time, Notre Dame's ranked 11th. Oklahoma State, actually, every time I say OSU, I think Oklahoma State. But Ohio State, number 2 defense. They got a good defense now. They haven't really played many opponents, but you're getting the point. If you look at the yards per rush, Notre Dame, they're getting 5.6 yards per rush. Ohio State, averaging 2.3 yards per rush given up. It's a good run defense versus a good rush offense. This is going to be an absolutely great matchup. Great game to watch. Cannot wait to see this one. But so back to the Baylor versus Texas. So now you see this, Baylor, 3.8 yards per rush. Texas, 2.9 opponent yards per rush. And honestly, this would be lower without that 162-yard rush. This is a stymie run defense for Texas. But so let's go on. Let's just look at all the matchups as it goes on. Points per game, 34. We're 25th in the nation in that. Offense, it's good. It's starting to get towards. I'm not going to say it's getting towards great. You can get great, but we need more efficiency to start getting into that top 15 range of being an offense. But the defense, I've been saying it all along. This is what's going to win us games right here. This right here is going to win us games. Only allowing 14.7 points per game right now. Less than 300 yards for the opponent. Points per play is low, so if opponents aren't efficient, points per opponent yards per play, same. Not giving up 3rd downs. 4th downs could get better. Red zone could get better, but at the end of the day, that's not. I will certainly 100% take that. Looking at the rushing attack, like I just said, I'm just going to touch on it because I've already talked about it. But Texas, we got to get better at the run game. I think that we've had some inefficiency, and I think we're going to start to see the Texas Longhorns get better at the run game as we see more consistency. I'd like to see Cedric Baxter, make it through some full games. But at the end of the day, Jonathan, I think as the year goes on, guys are going to start to get into the rhythm. Hopefully, if Jonathan Brooks doesn't get injured, this will go up 100%. And then just briefly touching on the rush defense, this is a great rush defense for Texas, and I can actually give you that 62-yard number here. So if you were to remove that 62-yard rush and you look at all the yards per attempt versus Texas, it goes down from 2.9 to 2.3, which is a top 10 rush defense in the nation. So I think outside that one run, this is a absolutely great rush defense. I'm not expecting much on the ground for Baylor, especially. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we're expecting to miss. This is where we need the college game needs some standardized ways of reporting on injuries and whatnot. Because at the NFL level, they have to tell you, hey, guy's doubtful, he's going to play, he's not going to play, whatever. They have to tell you what's happened. This guy didn't practice. They can't be secretive about this stuff. College, they can be secretive, but Baylor, they're going to be missing their quarterback, their starting quarterback and starting running back. I think that this is going to bode well for the Texas Longhorn defense. Now, going over the quarterback, the Baylor pass, we'll start off with Baylor. Their yards per pass, 8.8, 28, number 20th in the nation. Their quarterback actually has the highest average depth of target among all quarterbacks in the Big 12. They pass the ball frequently. They have gotten a lot of pass yards per game, and you can see they have an explosive pass offense. So, the Texas defense, we're going to have to force some more INTs. We've been doing that. We've been doing that a good amount this year. We've been getting the quarterback on the ground this year. This is the things that you want to see. This one, I don't really pay much attention to what, passes per game, rushes per game, all that, because it changes with scheme game to game. And then also, there's not much that you can't say, hey, this is, looking at this individually, you can't say, hey, it's good or bad. If Texas is up 21 points, Baylor's going to be passing the ball a lot. So there's going to be a ton of passes per game. Now, to that point, you can probably say, hey, well, Texas hasn't been, they haven't been in huge leads like they should be because the opponents aren't passing the ball. They're passing the ball a good amount, but it's not a ton. So, but at the end of the day, I'm not really going to look at that one statistic by itself. Opponent yards per pass, this one can be misleading. Last year we had a low yards per pass, but that was because they just kept hitting it. So you really need to compare this one with the stat above it. Opponent completion percentage. This is what you have to see from the Texas defense. It was not like this last year. Last year we were giving up a decent completion percentage to good completion percentage. Holding the quarterbacks to 55% right now, that's what we need to see, and it's going to bode well for Texas versus Baylor because I think that their quarterback is going to at least throw 2 picks. That's my bold. If I were to have to make a bold prediction, I could see 4 picks. I could see 4 picks happening in this game. He's going to get pressured with the sack. He's going to feel that. He's going to make some dumb throws, and we have some absolute ball hog defensive backs running around out there. I'm not going to mention one stat in here because I'm not going to jinx it. I'm a very superstitious guy, so you might have already seen that stat, but I'm not. You'll know which one I don't talk about. Quarterback sack. We have been keeping the quarterback from getting sacked. This is a good thing. Keeping Quinn clean, keeping Quinn away from pressure. He's been doing well in a clean pocket. Obviously, if you have a clean pocket, you're going to do better. Like I said, not really caring about the pass play percentage or passes per game. But yards per pass, 8.2. That can go up. Completion percentage, that can go up. These are things that need to go up. Baylor's pass defense, it's not your pass defense from a couple years ago. This is certainly one that Texas can and should take advantage of. Now, the kicking game, Baylor, they've been 100% on field goal conversions. Or actually, no. No. That's my bad. They're 71% on field goal conversions, so they've missed some field goals. Burt Auburn, as you know, he's missed one or two here. Turnover margin, Texas is not giving the ball away. They are taking the ball away, but this is where it bodes well for Texas. They're giving the ball away. They're averaging 2 times that they're giving the ball away a game. Texas, same deal. This is one of those things that matches well for Texas, but not if you're a viewer. If you want to view this game and you want to see it like, hey, I want to see Ohio State or Notre Dame game, you're not getting it here. And then the last thing to look at is time of possession. Texas, we've had some there's a couple drives really that just drained the clock against Texas, and we really should own the time possession battle. But this is something that I want to see us do better in, especially as we head into Big 12 play, and we're going to be heading into the games that are actually going to start to be what you could consider close and meaningful games, because if you own the time possession battle, that can do wonders for you. I don't know if any of y'all remember a couple years back we had what should I call it? Army versus Oklahoma. Army almost beat Oklahoma purely by owning the time possession battle. It's massive, but so Texas versus Baylor. Everything is in favor for us. I go, and if you've heard my prediction, I'm going to be sticking with my original prediction that I made on Orange Bloods. I'm sticking with 52-0. And it ultimately comes down to versus Wyoming versus Rice. Really, you could argue that outside, if you remove the last drive of the game where Texas was up by 3 scores, so the defending it look, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, because to the young guys it does matter, but you're not having the starting defense out there. They're not playing like the game is on the line. You're just not, it's not the same. So you could argue that outside of Alabama, opposing teams really have truly scored 3 points on Texas. And what I mean by that is, you look at this. The 3 points that you had versus Rice, the first 3 points that they scored, that should have never happened. We had the ball. We went through it on 4th down, first possession of the game, first possession of the season. Gave Rice the ball in field goal position, 3 and out them, and then they kick a field goal. 99.999999% of the time that you get the ball and you get 3 and outed, you're not kicking a field goal. That just is what it is. So I'm going to take away the 3 points. I'm going to take away the touchdown at the end of the game where we almost still held him out of the touchdown. How McCaffrey held onto that ball, I have no idea. Michael Taft, surely he laid a hit on that guy. But yeah, it's just, this is what this Texas team should be doing, and I can't wait to see it. So, hope you all are having a great day, and as again, 52-0, Texas Longhorns get a big win, and yeah, all is going to be well on the message boards. Hope you all have a great day. Hook 'em!